Live from Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, it's BSU Tonight! Featuring Jacob Alka, Billy Berry, Rebecca Malbert, Tim McBride, and your host, Zane Gouzelderly. Tonight's show, Timmy takes on November. Tonight's special guest, Derek Edwards. And now, here he is, the one, the only, Mr. Zane Gouzelderly.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you. My God, it's so liberating to be here, see so many wonderful new faces. You all look like you're enjoying yourselves, and I guarantee that everything's about to pick up right now. A lot has happened this past week. Most of it is worth laughing at, in my opinion. Probably the biggest news story out of the bunch was the outcome of the general election. And if you don't know who the winner is, I'll be frank, you're living under a rock or in the state of Florida. I hear a lot of talk, a lot of people being upset. Florida took so long, but it always happens. It always happens. The entire state is just a retirement home with a view. Am I right? I mean, are we really that surprised it takes them so long? I mean, between shuffleboarding and sheer death, I mean, there isn't much time for anything else. Applesauce. They work the applesauce in. Following Barack Obama's re-election, though, the stock market plummeted nearly 300 points. I'm surprised the points didn't go up, really. I mean, you would think a bunch of screaming white men in bright-colored coats from New York would be happy with a pro-gay president. I don't know, it's just kind of... I don't understand the stock exchange at all, you know? Let's wear purple. It's numbers. They would never welcome me. A survey from the nation of Italy... This is probably taking the cake from me. Recently reported that students dislike math more than any other subject. No kidding. I mean, the kids from the survey were from Italy, not China. I mean, who's really surprised here? I'm not. Anyways, Director of CIA David Petraeus resigned from his position last Friday, citing extramarital affairs. You heard it once in Washington. You hear it over and over again. He's citing the extramarital affairs. The man got caught. The man is a trained spy, the head of all of our spies. You can't secure a room at the Hilton? I don't understand. I mean, forget Bosnia. Let's start with local hotels and then, work our way up from there. By the way, did anyone see that huge line of people wrapping around campus last Friday night? I mean, you'd think someone was giving out free cars or tuition. It's like Oprah Winfrey's coming. I mean, I don't know. I was at a loss. I could not walk to the office. This is the line of people, couldn't get through them. It was ridiculous. But even more ridiculous than seeing this line stretch around the entire campus was Dayglow. Dayglow, the touring neon paint concert, has been making its way to universities all across the United States. And this past weekend, Ball State students had the opportunity to dance for 5 straight hours and get drenched in neon paint. The event sold out 2,000 tickets in record time, at Ball State's record time. I mean, I would take note, Ball State Athletics. I mean, the next time you need to sell out an event, just pick up a couple of cans of Dutch Boy paint. Give them what they want, am I right, And that's a Cardinal touchdown right there, We got money, come on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we here at BSU Tonight feel that this year, as it's coming to a close, there are a lot of things that we're really looking forward to. Whether it be Black Friday, the arrival of Christmas music, or even the occasional bottle of wine with Thanksgiving dinner, right? Well, my co-host Timmy has taken it upon himself to reach out to all of you about November stuff. Over to you, Timmy.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. Now I would like to talk to you about a very important issue facing this nation in the month of November. Well, it doesn't matter what side you choose. All that matters is that you choose a side and stick with it. Not just for you, your friends, and your family, but for your country. I, of course, am talking about a month-long commitment to your face. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the month of No Shave November, or as I and the rest of my America-loving brothers like to call it, November. A lot of young cats these days can't fill out their face with the sweet bristle that us Beardenites have come to know and love, So they compensate by crying in the corner while their mother and I have tea, whilst I tell tales of the sticky situations my chin curtain has faced. Don't fret though, some kids can't develop facial hair until their late 20s, so there's that to look forward to, I guess. Well, obviously you all know about the instant self-esteem boosts that come with any sort of scruff, as well as being able to hit on older women. No, seriously, you will have women beating you up. I mean, you'll need to beat women off of you. But Tim, I don't know how to fight. Shut up, Pansy. You have a whisker twister now. Let the chops call the shots. But what about the physical impacts of having a furry face? Now let's think outside the box here. Flashback 3 weeks ago. It's getting pretty cold out. I'm seeing all these people wearing these fabric things around their necks, scarves. So I'm about to buy one of these particular neck wraps when I see the price tag. 20 bucks. Do I look like an idiot? No, sir. And neither do a percentage of you. So I made my own scarf. Out of my hair. Not only does it look classy, but it saves you money. You might be tempted by your girlfriend or employers to give it up, to just keep it trimmed. But don't listen to them. You know who just kept it trim? Stalin. So are you a communist? Or are you a true American who bleeds red, white, and beard? Whether you use your powers for beard for destruction or seduction, just remember that a good beard is not grown, it is earned. Zane, back to you.
Thank you, Timmy. Thank you, Timmy. That was a wonderful job. There's nothing like hard, honest journalism. This whole season, we have been working hard to represent the local community, and tonight it is with great pleasure that I introduce our new field reporter, Billy Berry, who's doing just that.
Thank you, Zane. Hi. I'm Billy Berry, and I'm BSU Tonight's newest field reporter. Small, tiny, and just plain kitschy. Now these are just a few words that can describe my next guest's personality and his craft. Muncie, meet Mike Mester.
Hi, my name is Mike Mester. I live in Muncie. I've lived here for 30 years, and I make miniatures here in the corner of my basement where I'm most comfortable working. And I think if they were to write a book about me, I think it would be called The Miniature Man. I'm not a midget. Legally, I asked, and they wouldn't let me be a midget. Yeah, I make miniatures in my basement. I had an exhibition in New York at the Museum of Modern Art, probably in the 80s. I think it was the 82, if I remember right, and it was titled "Little Things Come in Small Packages, but Sometimes They Don't." So yeah, that was the whole title, and I showcased all my miniatures, and people liked it. There was a good response. Won a lot of awards, but you know, I think the miniature market died towards the early 90s, and so I've retreated back here to Muncie. That bigger life is beyond me now, and I'm a humbler person because of it, and I sit down in my basement, you know, and I make miniatures. Yeah. Do you want to know about my miniatures? Yeah, okay. Well, I prepared a couple pieces for you and your viewing audience today. Right here is a new piece I'm working on. See, I'm pretty clever here. I use old beer bottle tops to display my miniatures. This is a new piece I'm working on. It's called A Cluster of Leaves. And this one I just made today. It's a goose, but it doesn't have any legs. So it kind of just sits there. Oh, it fell over. I'm going to have, you know, I have a piece for it right here, if you don't mind. And we're just going to do some craftsmanship here. It's all a part of the miniatures business, I'll tell you. It's just adapting all the time. I've got a pop cap here, and we're just going to place them there, and there you go. It's a little goose. Give you a little goose, right? My favorite medium to work in at the moment, it's just on the market a couple of years ago. It's this white silly putty here that I have right here, and I think it's a great medium to work with in the world of miniatures. I think we're making great strides and advancements in the world of miniatures, and who knew it would start right here in Muncie, Indiana? Huh? I mean, how about that? But anyway, we're using this, and it's great because it squishes. You know, it's pliable and malleable, and it stretches and it breaks, I guess. And the greatest thing is, since my wife Sheila got the rest of the silly putty in the divorce, and she got that, and so I only have this little bit left, and so you can smash it back together. And it starts anew again. So I mean, let's say I make my wife Sheila's face. Let's just, put a little scowl on her there. And it's got a little, kind of looks like a bulldog. Pretty accurate, if I must say. And then we just squish it, Just squish it. And it's new again. And Sheila's gone. Again, and I think it's a great, it's a great medium. The miniature world is it's shrinking, and that's not a pun. Don't think of it that way. I mean, I'm being serious, really. It's a dying art form. And really not too many people know about it anymore. But I think it's going to make a comeback, and I hope it does. I think the world could learn a lot if they just shrunk down their world and took a bigger look at the bigger picture. I think we'd all be better people. And so that's why I deal in miniatures. And I think that's why you should all deal in miniatures too.
Thank you, Billy, for that report. I love the op-ed piece. I thought No Shave November. It's an issue that a lot of people don't recognize.
It's an issue that a lot of people don't, even think about in the month of November.
Were you making a comment about me at any point?
No.
No, not that the skin, the smoothie, kind of baby bottom face.
Your hair looks great now.
Oh, now. So it looked bad in the past. Is that what the kind of?
I went through that phase when my beard was like looking all not good.
You're 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Well, I'm embarrassed.
Exactly. I don't know.
Hey, man. Whatever. If you live in Muncie and are an avid reader and you don't own a library card, chances are you found your way into the White Rabbit bookstore. With one of the largest collections of rare books for purchase in Muncie, Indiana, the White Rabbit is home to all who are constantly looking for their next read. Please help me in welcoming our guest for tonight, owner of the White Rabbit, Derek Edwards. Come on out.
Hello. Hey. Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank
It's
you
wonderful to have you on.
Thank you.
Now, how long has the White Rabbit been in? And it is in the Village,
Yes.
which is what Ball State students call the downtown area, which is right off of the campus. You're located centrally in the Village. How long has the White Rabbit been there?
I've been there in the Village for 22 years now.
22 years now. Wow. So you've seen Muncie at the height of its party craze back in the 90s,
Yes.
and the Spanish Inquisition of the early 2000s, and now to the subtle, tame PC times we live in.
It's been quite a ride.
Oh, damn straight. I mean, that's fantastic. So
many a broken window since.
Really?
Yeah, back in the party days.
Okay, all right. We're going to get to that because I don't appreciate that
I kind of want to hear that story.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. So 22 years, at any point, did you ever think to leave and move to a different location, or?
No, actually, the Village is my second location. I've been a couple other locations before that.
Okay.
I've been doing this a long time now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with that, it just kind of comes to love for it. I mean, you have to love the environment that you're in and the business that you're in. Otherwise, you wouldn't have stuck with it for so long.
Yeah, a matter of fact, the building I'm in now, actually always had my eye on that building when I was at other locations, just waiting for it to come up for rent.
Well, and it's a very unique building in the sense that you have your ground floor and then you have kind of a second upstairs, which is kind of set up as like a reading lounge and just kind of more of an extensive viewing area.
Yeah.
It's different in that sense, but it's not just books that you sell. What else do you have at the White Rabbit?
Oh, I have DVDs, I have board games, toy collectibles, a lot of kitschy stuff.
And are these things that you have more of an interest to you, or are these requests that come from your customers that, oh, do you think you could have a little bit more of this and that, and that you try to supply?
Actually, a little bit of both. I love stuff from the past, so when I see something that I remember from my own childhood, or something from my adolescence, or just something from last week,
it's something that you it's something you want to pick up and hold on
exactly,
to. That's fantastic. Yeah. Now, I have to ask this question.
Sure.
Are you, and do you consider yourself to be a fanboy?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Fantastic.
yes.
And are you a Star Trek or a Star Wars fan?
Star Trek, because I'm old enough.
You're like
No,
my
I
dad.
like
Where
them
is
both.
he?
No, I do like them both, but let's face it, I go.
Awesome. No, you're fine. No, continue, please. Continue.
I thought you were going to shoot me.
No problem. But you do carry both.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I started with Star Trek when it was originally on. I was watching it. So.
Okay. So way back in the day.
Yes, way, way back.
Now, you mentioned that it's just kind of stuff that catches your eyes or has a connection to your past. It's just something that you see that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Would you say that, because I'm interested as to where the White Rabbit, like the name for this store, kind of came from. What
It's
is
my
that?
most asked question.
Is it really?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, really. The first book I read on my own, by myself as a child, was Alice in Wonderland.
Really?
Yeah, and I am dyslexic, so reading did not come easy originally, so I'm quite proud of that.
Oh, absolutely. I think you should be. And then from there, you've just decided to, it stayed with you for so long,
Exactly.
obviously.
And also, it's in public domain, so I didn't have to pay any rights on it.
I love a smart business decision. I really do. God, now I'm jealous. I think that's just so great. Now, I mean, you're a fanboy, and you carry such a vast, variety of just different things. What kind of customers are you getting? I mean, obviously you're in a college town and you're not open super late on the weekends, so you don't have to deal with drunks too often.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just interested in the type of traffic you see or have seen for the past 20
Well, I mean,
years.
and hours have changed. There was a time when I was doing some video rentals in the days before DVDs, and I had some friends who had a small rental business, so I gave them some space. And of course, they said, well, most of our rentals come real late, so on the weekends then I was staying open to 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. So you were seeing a lot of
so
crazy ins and outs.
I got to see a lot of weirdness in the village at times.
If you stay up that late, you definitely see some things. Well, you were talking earlier when we started. You've dealt with broken windows and stuff like that. What?
Well, unfortunately.
Is it Barnes and Noble? Are they coming down here
Yes,
giving you crap?
yes,
I swear to God, I'll go protest them right now.
They send their brutes down, their torpedoes.
They hold you down. They knock the shelves over. It's a whole mess.
They said, boy, it'd be terrible if something bad happened to your book. No, unfortunately, beer and students don't always mix.
No, never really. And that's the experience that I've known them.
And the worst incident was about 2:30 in the morning. I get a call from the Ball State Police asking if I own the White Rabbit. I'm like, yes. And they said, well, one of your windows has been broken. Now, of course, if you're familiar with my store, I have small little panes of glass.
Right.
So I'm figuring, oh boy, okay, I'll be down there. I figure, no, the entire window has been broken out. Where a couple of well-lubricated, intoxicated gentlemen decided to, I don't know, can you say lubricated?
I've been asking what I can say for about 2 years now and really have not gotten a solid answer, so I wouldn't worry about it.
I meant intoxicated.
No, that's fine. Hey, it's party night. I don't know what they're doing. They're in college.
Anyway, they decided they would practice tackling each other, and they ended up tackling one to the other right through my window.
God. And then I'm assuming that they were, they were the ones who took care of the repair and everything, right?
Oddly enough, the next day, I had a few choice words to the gentleman, which was sitting there in handcuffs.
Some choice words that we can't say.
But the next morning, he did come in sober and very apologetic, and he did pay for the damages. So
Oh, that's good.
Again, I blame the alcohol, not the
Not the individual.
Yes. And I'm not protesting against any of the bars in the village. I should make that clear.
And that's funny because I have it written down here. I mean, you are located in a central area where there are other businesses around you.
Oh yes.
I mean, smoke shop, bars, restaurants, you name it, it's around you. Do you know the owners of these other places, or is it just kind of your...
No, actually, I do know some of the owners. I can't say I know them all.
Sure.
But I do know several of the owners.
And is there like a good working relationship with business owners in the village?
Yeah, I've always tried to keep good business relationships, and for the most part, yeah. I can't think of any bad business right now going on between different people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I have to ask, and this is just for personal, you know, inquisitory, I guess.
Yes.
See, I make up words that I don't even know if they work either. But what is your favorite book? Can we say that it is Alice in Wonderland, or do you have a book that trumps that?
You know, that's a very tough question to have a single favorite book. I don't think I have one single favorite. I have favorite authors. I have favorite genres of books.
It's like asking Zane for his favorite movie.
I do have a favorite movie, though, picked out. My favorite movie is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, okay.
That's a movie that I would watch over and over again and just be fine with. But I do have a long list of movies that I love.
Exactly.
Well,
if you had to nail me down to a single book that I'd want to have, I think it would have to be actually, I think maybe the collected works of Edgar Allan Poe, actually.
okay, all right.
I really like his stuff.
Movie.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie of yours?
Right now.
Ooh, favorite movie.
I always like to pose it as if you're stuck on a desert island
Yeah,
with
you-
one
one
copy.
stop- yeah,
you
one-
got to watch it over and over again.
and over again.
Wilson.
You're going to be real surprised at my answer, I think.
And it is?
Clerks 2.
Clerks 2? No, I'm not surprised. I love Clerks 2.
Yeah, that's
A lot of people prefer Clerks 1, which I really do like Clerks 1, but I like Clerks 2 better because I think it addressed me more personally. They're older, they're more mature in that
Sure.
one, they're more my generation.
No, I love that film. I love them both, really. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, so I like that. Well, Derek, we're about at the end of the interview.
Okay.
For anyone watching who, if we've piqued their interest and they're interested in coming down to the White Rabbit, where are you located? Where are you, what source of mediums are you on to get information?
All right, 1604 West University is our address. There's parking behind us off of Dill Street. I personally, I'm not online, believe it or not. I don't have a website. There are some blogs about my shop that are out there. There is information about me online, but I have yet to enter the computer age. I'm afraid I'm very old-fashioned that way.
I mean, you know, that's all personal personal choice. Awesome. And I mean, it's located obviously in the village of, you know, Muncie. I recommended a lot of the books that are up here purchased in your store. I love the environment. I love everything about it, and I really want to thank you for coming on because it's been wonderful to have the opportunity to sit down and talk with you.
Well, thank
but
you very
before
much.
we wrap this interview up, my last question for you is:
Sure.
you have a lot of different items, as you said. What would you say is the rarest item in your shop?
The rarest item I have now or the rarest item I've ever had?
Ever had?
Ever had. Had the first appearance of Spider-Man and Spider-Man #1, both issues of that in at the exact same time.
And they went to?
They went to a customer that I'm not allowed to say his name.
Completely understandable, but I'm sure your end of the business deal was all right.
Oh yeah. Well, I will say they were a consignment. They weren't mine personally. They were a consignment, so I only got my 10%, but I still did very well with it because he actually went down and took out a bank loan to buy them.
Ooh, wow. Awesome. Derek, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a wonderful pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back to wrap it all up, so don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss out.
Wow.
Billy, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good.
Yeah, did you do the math homework?
Yeah, I
Did
did
you?
the math homework.
Oh my gosh, wasn't page 3 the worst?
Page 3 was actually pretty easy.
Oh my gosh, you are so smart, Billy. You are so
Thanks.
smart. But you know what? You're gonna have to help me because the whole page 3 was just like, I don't know if you noticed, but they lied to us. There were letters in there.
Yeah, there's letters in math.
Like, that doesn't make any sense because I was told that math was just numbers.
Yeah, that's not
No,
true.
it's not the thing. Okay, well, what about that Pythagorean theorem thing? That was just letters. Like, who even comes up with that? That's like a weirdest name.
Pythagoras came up with the Pythagorean theorem.
Billy, your breath stinks.
obviously, I've put the topic back up to Star Wars. We were just talking about that right before the break ended. And like I said, I'd just like to thank everyone that was involved in helping with this episode. Again, for you, Derek, for coming on. It's wonderful. Thoughts on episode 7? And do you think that they can redeem themselves after these wonderful prequels we were given?
You know, a lot of people have been saying, you know, now that Disney's in charge, I think it's going to be the end of the franchise. But frankly, I think they can't do any worse than the last.
I would have to say so, and I would also say from the standpoint when Disney bought Marvel, they did a wonderful job with the Avengers, and no one saw that one coming. So we might be in for a pleasant surprise.
That's true. If they get rid of Jar Jar Binks, hey.
It should be fine. If you ever want credible source from Star Wars, you always ask a fanboy. So again, thank you for coming on the show. Feel pretty good, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, you both have beards. I'm just out. I don't know. I'm just gonna. I think I'm gonna go buy one. I think that's the best thing. So we'll be back next week, same time, same place. So don't forget about us. We'll miss you. Have a good night, everyone.
I think he's been working on his beard a little longer than